Put it on your calendars right now. Let's go to Trump. Trump is leading in a New York Times Siena poll. This is interesting. This has got to be a freak out. I don't know how much the Democrats are really saying that this sucks for them, like out loud. I mean, I've seen a little bit, but this is bad news, okay? Let me just put this in perspective. The polls skew in favor, when Trump's on, they skew in favor of his opponent. There's I think, a very obvious reason why this happens, right? If you're a woman, a suburban woman especially, right? You're not likely to tell people you support Trump, but we know some do, right? Now that's an area, that's a demographic that Biden and Kamala have done well with, okay? But there's a lot of support in those suburban households, even with women. And they aren't going to go talk about that at the restaurant with their friends. They're not going to talk about it at Starbucks. They're not going to talk about it at the gym. They're going to not even maybe talk to a pollster, and if a pollster calls, they're probably not going to take that poll. But when it comes to a secret ballot on election day or before, they're still going to vote for Trump. And so I think that's one of the big reasons, because that's a big demographic when it comes to polls, right? We're talking about women that are, I would say, probably 30 and above, right? They're just not going to give that opinion out there. Now, I still think, by all means, I think that Kamala genuinely is leading that demographic. I just don't think it's captured in the polling data when you look at the crosstabs. So the fact that Trump is beating, I know it's in the margin error, but he's beating Kamala. What was this, 2 points? Let's go back. Let's go to this poll here real quick. I'm pretty sure it was 2 points. Oh, you should have had this queued up and ready to go.
You should take some pointers from me. I've had this ready.
Oh, did you have it ready already? Is it on the screen? I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, it is by 1 point. I was thinking it was, but I wasn't certain. And then they actually ask with third-party candidates, and this is actually a more honest way to do it. So, Dawson, is this on here? It's the second one down. If the 2024 election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were? So this is 47 to 45. Trump, 47%. Kamala, 45%. RFK is 0.5%, which makes me believe, and I'd love to see a poll before this, that there's been movement in that support category. Jill Stein at 1%. Colonel West at 0.5. Sorry, that's under 0.5. Chase Oliver at 2%.
He's not getting 2%.
That's what it's saying.
That's a lie.
Well, that could be, but the way that's phrased is Chase Oliver, the Libertarian Party candidate. Mm-hmm. So that's how it's read to them, right? Mm-hmm. So Trump has a 2-point marginal lead. Yeah, it's right there on the screen. Okay, Now Dawson, go to the age demo. You see where that's at? Scroll down. Let's go to the bottom where all the candidates are, because I think that's the more honest way to do it.
All the way at the bottom?
No, sorry. It was that next category. You were on it before. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
So yeah, you see an age. Now look here, 18 to 29. Kamala is winning 50 to 40 over Trump. When you go to 30 to 44 category, Kamala's winning 48 to 40. It's not until you get to 65 plus where Trump takes a lead, a 6-point lead. Kamala 45 and Trump 51%. Now I got a question for you guys at home, because I'd be very curious about your opinion, especially if and my buddy Andy Parrish is still in the comment section. This is what national polling is suggesting. No one's shocked by that Kamala's leading in the younger vote and then Trump's leading in the older vote, okay? Now let's go to this KSDP Survey USA poll, and we talked about this last week, and we look at the crosstabs. And Dawson, what I want you to do is we're going to go to the crosstab. It's going to be page. It's going to be labeled number 3. The first one under number 3. Okay. All right. Yeah. Perfect. God, you are good at this.
Thank you.
All right. So Trump is down 5 points to Kamala. Now, obviously, the headline was he cut the lead that she had in half. When they first did their poll with Kamala versus Trump after the announcement, Kamala was leading Trump by 10 points. Now she's leading Trump 48 to 43, 5 points. Neither one has 50%. They don't list the other candidates on the ballot, which honestly you should in Minnesota because there will be a ton of candidates on the ballot, including Shiva, right?
Yep.
You want to know what that Shiva segment is? The other is 4%, undecided 5%. Here's what's interesting, and this is what I don't have an answer to. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but I got some speculation. When you look at the crosstabs on age, 18 to 34-year-olds, Trump is winning 53% to 37%. Now, this isn't the only poll I've seen this in. Every KSTP USA poll has shown this. Then you get to the 65 plus, and Kamala's got a massive lead. So it's the inverse of what the national poll is showing. I've just got to be honest with you. I'm a little puzzled by it. Is Minnesota really that different? I'm watching these young boys, middle school age, at the bus stop the other day in my neighborhood, and one of the kids is wearing a Trump shirt. It's like Trump 2024. And it's the infamous, and getting shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old was this kid?
Middle school, so 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
So he didn't
Wow.
buy it for himself. His parents are
Correct.
putting
Yeah,
him
his
on-
parents. But
Well,
I
he
mean, I don't
probably
think his
wanted
parents
it.
are overtly political. The idea is he's going to school probably thinking, I'm pretty cool wearing the shirt. And I think we're learning that younger boys are attending more Trump. Now, that's much younger than the 18 to 34-year-old category. But is there something in Minnesota where it's cooler for younger people to like Trump? I don't know. You guys are actually in this category. I'm
Maybe
in a
it's the
category
lockdowns
that's
and
going
stuff.
Kamala.
Maybe it's the lockdowns. Anybody that had a Democrat governor during COVID, maybe the young people are the ones who are especially fed up with the stuff because, I mean, the old people were kind of falling for it. They still watch the media. They were scared. Older people are afraid of death and whatnot. So maybe the younger people are the ones who are not buying it. And so I could see that being one of the contributing reasons as to why young people are, at least conservative in Minnesota.
That's a really interesting theory. And plus, they were not getting vaccinated. They were getting like the lowest rates of vaccination too, right? That's a good theory. And it'd be interesting because you could do polls in all the lockdown states.
I'm actually really curious because I'm looking at this poll, right, and the thing is 18 to 34 is the range.
Yeah.
Am I crazy or is that bigger than 35 to 49 and then 50 to 64? Why is the age range so big?
Well, I mean, it's all arbitrary, but when you look at the Siena poll, they go 18 to 29 and then 30 to 44.
Oh, so okay.
So unless 30 to 34-year-olds are predominantly Trump, which I'm guessing isn't the case, it still shows that the age group, even when you kind of piece the two together on the New York Times Siena poll, that is the inverse of the KST people. That's a really interesting theory. I hadn't thought of that one.
It's interesting to me that I'm like halfway. I'm in the middle of that age range, but that's like so many more people. It feels like in that age range. I wonder why KSTP does it that way. That's weird.
Once again, it's just arbitrary, right?
I mean,
it's a key demo for like advertising, so
Well, okay, yeah, that's true, but it's got like almost double the amount of people or double the amount of age range as the.
Well, not more than the 65 plus. That goes all the way up to 100 and.
Yeah, it sure does.
100 and people in the cemetery too,
if we
right?
know anything about voting now, you can do it after you've died. So.
Yeah. By the way, 65 plus, the largest voting block too, right? So, which is really key. Polls are, the better they are, more scientific, the more they do. Here's another theory I have. I'd love to know more in particular. The methodology in the New York Times Siena poll, which is a very credible poll, once again, it is national, so take it for what it's worth. It doesn't mean he's win. All the battleground states look like they're tied right now. They're all in a virtual tie, which makes me think that Trump's actually winning. And by the way, the most recent polls are going more Trump, so it looks like the bump's gone. So the interesting thing here is I lost my train of thought here. This is the problem I have is I always sidetrack when I'm talking.
Look at the graphic.
Yeah,
What's that?
Use the graphic.
18 to 34-year-olds.
Crap. I was going somewhere with that. Who gives a crap? Anyhow, the idea is Trump is doing very good on a national poll, trending in the right direction with the battleground states, is really what, really in many ways, Pennsylvania and Georgia, what's going to make this election, right? So I'm just curious. Oh, that's where I was going with it. So Siena poll is doing actual phone conversation interviews. Does Survey USA, I didn't see in the methodology in Survey USA if they're using the like an online. I've done this actually. I've gotten a text and then I click on it and I'm like, what the hell? I'll do the poll, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not your average voter. I'm more political, right? So that's going to get more young people, right? They're not going to want to talk to some. Do you guys know this? Young people don't like talking on the phone. There's the texting culture. You guys know this, Bridget? You know that?
I hate the phone.
You guys just like to text. So anyhow, that could be a big difference, right? So if that's the difference, this is the interesting thing. If Siena poll, which we know their methodology is only that they call, and Survey USA is getting different data because they're actually allowing that, well, then my question is, is the lead that Trump has much larger than the polls are showing because they're not using that methodology? Seems like it could be a monumental difference. Anyhow, that's all I know. That's as far as I can get to. I'm going to look more into it, but it's a very interesting question, something that we noticed in the crosstabs.
Yeah,
so
I mean, in my opinion, if the election was fair, of course Trump's going to win by a pretty big margin. You know,
Yeah,
not a landslide. I'm
Trump
not
can
of the
only win if it's not fair.
Huh?
Trump can only win if it's not fair.
That's not what he said.
Yeah, I said the opposite. I
Yeah,
said
the
if it's
opposite.
fair.
Sorry, Trump can only lose if it's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we'll see how this debate ends up going tonight because I think that, you know, she stands for absolutely nothing. Trump has such momentum. You know, without the propaganda and the media and everything, it wouldn't even be close. If the media treated Trump, you know, half as fair as they
that's
treat Kamala,
huge.
you're right. If it was 50-50, if the media was neutral, wouldn't even be close. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
yeah, I think that there's, you know, Kamala got some momentum with the convention, with the nomination, all that, but that momentum is dead, and she's only going down from here. So, yeah, I think that Trump's going to win unless things end up like 2020 before, you know.
So this is my thinking on the debate tonight. By the way, if you guys want to go watch the debate with some good Patriots, go to Quinny's Pub and Grill. That's in Matamidi. It's right on the corner, 694 and Century. So just get off on the Century Avenue exit on 694. Go one block north, and you'll be at Quinny's Pub and Grill. It's in a little strip mall. Used to be Jethro's. Good Patriot. Janice Quinlan runs that. She's actually doing the new part of her bar. It's called Q Pub. So you can watch it with a bunch of Patriots. So my thinking tonight, Jesse, you tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I think, honestly, the person that really has to perform tonight is Kamala because people don't know where she stands on it. She's got this inflated support. I mean, like, do you really believe, unless Trump is just an asshole, okay, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be subdued. He was against Hillary Clinton. Unless he's a complete ass, I don't think a lot of people are going to learn something new about Trump that they don't already know. Like, that guy is known. Everyone knows about Trump. What they don't know is Kamala Harris.
Yep.
And so the pressure is really on her. And if she shows up, the bumbling idiot that she really seems to be, she's not going to look very well.
I don't think she's going to look good at all. I mean, she's going to have her memorized answers because she's been hiding like Joe Biden in the hotel, you know, 6 days of nonstop preparation, you know, because she can't be expected to be an actual leader. She couldn't be expected to think off the top of her head, you know, as if a president would have to do in the job. So she's obviously been memorizing things, but I mean, honestly, she's playing grab ass with a Trump impersonator is what she's doing. You know, I don't know if that's the way to go about things, to bring in a Trump impersonator, a guy wearing a bunch of makeup and doing a funny hair. And, you know, she thinks that's what's going to help her. You can't predict for what Trump is going to be like. And, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things. I'm hoping that we'll see how far Trump goes. I'm hoping he brings up Willie Brown. I'm hoping he really pushes, you know, if this is the only debate we're going to get.
Willie Brown.
Right. You know, there's plenty that needs to be said here. And I think that if he just, you know, keeps focused on the message at hand and, you know, he can basically just say this woman had 28% approval rating in our country. Nobody respected her, and it's only until the media has been propagandizing her that everybody has all of a sudden gained this new respect for her. She'd be the worst president in history. Look at her record, explain everything, and yeah, it should be no problem because Kamala Harris is a complete idiot.